What's up, boys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you have been doing any sort of car shopping lately, or looking for a car, just browsing, or maybe you want to sell your car, you probably noticed that car prices right now in the used market are just dummy expensive, like off the charts, like crazy high. Like people are asking like 8 grand for like a 99 Miata with 100,000 miles on it. Some cars and trucks with 60 to 80,000 miles are going over their original MSRP, and like for the most part, unless it's like, you know, a Ford GT or maybe a Bugatti or something, like cars don't appreciate in value, but now they are. And this is kind of really weird, but we're gonna talk about why today. This car market that we're in right now is kind of like the perfect storm. Coming off of the pandemic, rolling off the pandemic, the demand is super high. A lot of people are getting out of that cabin fever because we've all been cooped up inside. You know, it's summertime. There's normally a surge during the summer of people wanting to buy cars, but you know, that's even more now because people have been cooped up for so long. So that is super high. The demand for these cars is really high. However, where a lot of the real problems are is in the supply chain. So we have a perfect storm where the supply is super low, but the demand is also really high. The supply is really low because we can't make any more new cars. A lot of raw materials like lumber and steel and oil and all that kind of stuff are through the roof. Have you been to like Home Depot lately? A 2x4 right now is like $11, $12, which is just nuts. Those used to be like $3 a couple of years ago. But anyways, all these raw materials are through the roof. Plus, in addition to that, there's a massive shortage of chips that these cars use. These computer chips that almost every single car uses, and if you can't get them new, then there's basically nothing you can do. You can't make these cars and finish them without the chips, so there's an extreme shortage of new cars coming out. One of my friends works at Ford, and he was telling me that he was at one of their plants, and there are just lines and lines and lines of F-150s. They're all ready to go, except for they're missing that one chip. So as soon as that chip rolls out, those new trucks are gonna be rolling out, and all the new cars are gonna be rolling out. I bet you there's lots of new cars sitting there. They don't work yet, but as soon as they get those chips, they'll be rolling out and ready to go. So because there's no new cars coming into the market, all of our used cars, like mine and like probably yours, the prices are just through the roof. So it's pretty much this perfect storm that we have going on right now. We're definitely in a bubble. It's definitely gonna pop as soon as all these new cars start to roll out, as soon as that chip shortage and all these shortages are gone and over with, and these new cars start coming out, the price of used cars will go down a lot. So I mean, my advice to you, if you have an extra used car that you don't want or are not using, list it for sale. I listed my Corvette for sale for a lot more than I paid for it, and if I get to make some money, great. I wouldn't necessarily advise somebody to sell their car just so they can rebuy another car for an overpriced sticker, but I don't know your situation, so that's up to you. But yeah, guys, pretty crazy times we're living in right now. We're about to get started filming a different video and working on the sandrail a little bit, but I just wanted to give you guys sort of a representation here. So my Corvette, I bought this thing about a year ago. I got super lucky because I bought it in like the middle of January, so it was like right before the pandemic started, right before all this craziness started. I got this thing for like out the door tax and everything about $32,000. So these cars right now are going for about $42,000. So like that's a 10 grand markup. Granted, this is more of like a specialty car, I get it, but still people are paying 25 to 35% more for a car like this, and that's just like, that's nuts. It's a used car. I actually really thought about selling this Focus. I really wanted to. However, this thing just saves me so much money, and it's so efficient to keep that like I really couldn't bring myself to sell it. This thing, I bought this for dirt cheap, and it's just dirt cheap to drive, to insure, everything. It just pays for itself in like that aspect. So for that reason, I'm not selling it, but like I really thought about it. So I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff, but if you guys have something to add or maybe like a story you want to tell, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. We are about to get started on the sandrail and doing some more work on that right now, but I appreciate you guys checking out this video. I'm gonna end this off here. If you want to check out the sandrail a little bit and some different videos, yeah, I've got some more on my channel and we're making some more right now. So I'd love to see you subscribing and sticking around. Hope you all have a great and amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.